11 AD, Antonio Diarbo, a Portuguese sailor, called the Papua region Os Papuas, or La de Papo. Don Jorge de Manides, a sailor from Spain, also stopped in Papua several years later, 1526 to 1527, he still used the name Papua. He himself knew the name Papua in the diary of Antonio Figafetta, the scribe of Magellan's voyage around the world, calling it Papua. This Papuan name was known to Figafetta when she stopped on the island of Tidor. Next, in 1528 AD, Alvaro de Saavedra, a leader of the Spanish navy, named the island of Papua Isla de Oro, or Island of Gold, which means Golden Island. He is also the only sailor who succeeded in anchoring his ship on the north coast of the Papua Islands. The mention of Isla del Oro caused quite a few European sailors to come in droves to look for the gold found on this golden island. In 1545 AD, Spanish sailor Íñigo Ortiz de Redes gave the name Nueva Guinea or Gova Guinea, New Guinea Island. He initially walked along the north coast of this island, and because he saw the characteristics of the humans, who had black skin and curly hair, the same as the humans he saw in the African hemisphere called Guinea, he named this island Nueva Guinea/New Guinea Island, and the era of Dutch colonialism began. In Papua. In 1606 AD, a Duifken expedition led by Commander William Jansen from the Netherlands landed in Papua. This expedition consisted of 3 ships, where they sailed from the north coast of Java and stopped at the K Islands, Aru on the southwest coast of Papua, and knew it as Papua from Jorge de Manides. In an effort to strengthen its position in Papua, in 1770, the Dutch changed the name of Papua to New Guinea, which was a translation into Dutch of Gova Guinea or Nova Guinea, and was published in an international map published by Isaac Tyron, a Dutch cartographer in the 19th century. 18th. With its inclusion on the map, this area has become increasingly famous in European countries. In 1774, Dutch rule over Papua fell into British hands. Where in 1775, the captain of the ship La Tartare, Captain Forrest from England, anchored in Manokwari, Dorari Bay, and in 1793, Papua became his new colony. Based on orders from the British governor based in Maluku, they began to divide the island and build Fort Coronation in Dorari Bay. However, Kamaluddin Saya, the Sultan of Tidor, who ruled over the entire Tidor Sultanate, where the western island of Papua claimed to be part of the Dutch's territory, opposed its establishment, so in 1814, the British left Papua. On August 24, 1828, Fort du Bus was founded in Triton Bay by A.J. van Delden on behalf of King Willem I, as a marker for the start of Dutch colonialism in Papua by realizing cooperation in the form of signing a letter of agreement with 3 kings, namely King Namatoda, Kasa, King of Lahakia, and Lutu, the rich man in Lobo and Miwara Island. They received recognition as regional heads under the Sultan of Tidor and his silver-headed scepter from the Netherlands, where simultaneously 28 subordinate regional heads were also appointed. The Dutch appointed the Sultan of Tidor as ruler over the Papua region because they considered the economic potential to be small, so that in 1849, the boundaries of Tidor's territory had reached the modern border of Indonesia and Papua New Guinea. In 1884, Papua New Guinea was controlled by Britain, and in the same year, northeast Papua was controlled by Germany. This power struggle only ended on May 16, 1895 in The Hague. A meeting was held between the Netherlands and England regarding the determination of their territorial boundaries, and was known as the Hague Agreement, 1895, and was contained in the Stadsblad van Nederland-Indië 1895 No. 220 and 221 of May 16, 1895, where the boundary line is the Bensbach River. This river divides 2 regions, namely, West Papua as Dutch territory and East Papua, or known as Papua New Guinea, as British territory. Territory of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Subsequently known as the Netherlands New Guinea.